Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to welcome back to Yash Talks Football. Match reaction time. Like I said on my other videos, midweek games, so a later reaction than usual. Arsenal 2, Paris Saint-Germain 0. We made PSG look like what they are, and that is overrated, offer nothing in attack, and absolutely shit. But before we do get into it, remember, like, sub, and share the content around. Getting close to that 170 mark, so let's get that going as quick as possible. Now, where do we start? We'll go one by one because there were a lot of good performances, but then there were some question marks. David Raya thought played well. Actually, you know what? David Raya and Gabriel and Saliba, solid as a rock. Saliba, I can count on one hand, the amount of times that PSG threatened past our defensive line, especially in the first half. Second half, we obviously went into that 4-4-2 sort of mid to low block when PSG tried to get a foothold of the game, but eventually didn't. I wasn't worried one bit in that first half. And speaking of not being worried, Jurriën Timber in that first half, because he got hooked at half time, he was close to being man of the match, but I think him playing the half sort of, made it a bit more difficult. He was solid defensively, good going forward, running into space, technically solid as a rock. I mean, I like Ben White. I think he's a good player, but you have a tough time getting back into this team when Jurriën Timber's performing like this. Calafiori on the Calafiori on the other side, not so great. Hakimi especially in the first half, was getting the better of him a lot. Yeah, I think since he's come to Arsenal, him defensively hasn't been the best. And then even at times when he tries to go forward, it's like he's trying to rush everything. I think he needs to look, because say it's a new league and he's getting used to the system, but he's just got to calm down a little bit. What I've seen of him before this, he looks like a decent player. But Serie A to the Premier League physically is a big ask, and will he be able to cope with it? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that was a very Zinchenko-like performance, if you want to say it like that, because if that was Zinchenko putting that performance in, we'd all be cussing. So I think it's only right to give that sort of, fair criticism. Midfield, including Trossard, solid. Trossard was very good last night. He was playing more like a 10 than Martin Odegaard ever was. I'm not saying Odegaard shouldn't come back into the team because I think he's a good player, but has his deficiencies. But the way Trossard was linking up with Saka, linking up with Martinelli, we'll get into in a minute, putting that cross in for Kai Havertz's goal. He was brilliant, and I'm liking what I'm seeing with Trossard and the way he keeps the ball, the way he gets us on the front foot with counter attacks immediately. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him so far. Do I think it's sustainable? At the moment, I don't know, but for now, it's looking all right. Partey and Rice, their best performance as a pair this season. Partey's looks very, very, jaded since his first game of the season against Wolves. Looks like his legs were gone, but although he is aging, today's performance, maybe because it was a slower game, we don't know, because it's Champions League, European teams, it's different to the Premier League. He was solid as a rock, and his passes were great. Same with Declan Rice, the way he was driving us forward at times and just cutting off any sort of passing lanes from PSG was brilliant, and I had no complaints from them at all. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, not good at all. Martinelli was probably, along with Calafiori, the worst player on the pitch. Martinelli, I've said what I've had to say about him. We need to cut ties with Martinelli at some point. People were saying Mikel Merino will unlock him, and to be fair, Merino looks alright when he came on, but he's not going to unlock Martinelli. Let's be real. People were saying that out of hope more than anything. So yeah, and Saka, fair play. He got the goal from the free kick, which I don't know how PSG didn't deal with that properly. But look, Wasn't great today, but got his goal. Fair play to him. That's what you call a normal Bukayo Saka performance. He won't play great, but he'll contribute in the vital moments, which fair play to him. He done. And Kai Havertz, brilliant. I'm not a fan of Kai Havertz, to be fair. He played well tonight. First half, he was energetic. He looked lively. Even outside the goal, he scored. Getting to the byline and trying to cut it back was brilliant. Second half, when PSG were onto us, he provided an outlet so he could get further up the pitch, use his body well to sort of shield a player between the ball. And yeah, brilliant from Kai Havertz tonight. I think that's what 5 goals he scored this season. So he's on course to having a decent goal scoring season. It's just whether he can do it consistently and do it when it matters, especially in the running. And if we do get to the later parts of the Champions League, doing it during then. But yeah, that's all we got from me. Yeah, remember, like, sub, and share the content around. I'll see you lot in a bit.